What's good, what's good, what's good? It's someone that's no one. Welcome back to another storytime banger. This is it season 2? I guess it's not season 2, right? Chapter 2? Chapter 2? Storytime, not shenanigans, but just developments and transcendence of sorts. This is going to be quite the story. So, I have a track record so far of making these stories long as hell. This story kind of has a lot of detail. I don't remember every little thing in this story, but there's still quite a bit I have to talk about with this trip because it is my first time ever having an ego death. You already know what's good. You don't smoke out here. We're gonna tell this story. This is on DXM Polistirex and hydrobromide. Specifically Robitussin gel caps with what was it? It was like Equate, bro, and Delsum. So I have like 2 bottles of Polistirex, and yeah. So we'll lay out some details and do a little catch up. I'm not gonna really do too much backstory on everything where I'm at in this because I've said so much in other videos already and laid that out. If you want to know exactly like where I was at in my life with this, and this is like 8 years ago now, which is kind of crazy, but if you want to know exactly, I mean, go check out the past videos and catch up and whatnot, and just see how we got to this day, right? Before we actually get into that, of course, we don't spark up on y'all. Hope you guys are doing well. It's November out here. It's been cold as fuck. I mean, at least colder. It's gonna get actually colder, so that's but that's why I got double jackets out here. But it's actually, the sun's beating down on me right now, so I might actually loosen up a little bit because I am just bundled. I want to be comfortable just to tell this all right and everything. Got nice and toasty here with this guy too. So what we got today, today we got candy fumes from ProGrow. I believe this was out there in percentage. I believe it was like 31%, maybe even 33%. Regardless, just the trichomes and everything, the profile on it, it's pretty A1. Happy to smoke this and bring it for this first time ego death video here. I guess fitting in a sense. I did some just prepping and remembering right before this, specifically of some songs, trying to get close to the dissociative feeling with some K, and I asked the kitty to help me like remember Dexter, because I haven't touched Dexter in a long time now, guys, because again, if you haven't kept up, this shit makes me sick as a motherfucker now. And I want to do some experimenting with that. Hopefully we can reverse that, find a way, maybe method to reverse that in some way. But I mean, I am also just safety first too, and just gotta understand more, I guess, and go about that the right way. But let's not get off track. I don't want to. This is how we make this shit long as fuck. We start getting off track and just like talk about this and that. My thoughts on this, or like how I think about things this way or that way. Let's focus on this. Like I said, this might be a long ass story, guys. Well, let me know first off, do you guys like it when it's like just kind of long and I get like really detailed in it and whatnot, really flush it out, or you just kind of like in a more like, I guess you could say, I wouldn't even say intelligent way, but just like concise way to get the main points across, right? Let me know about that. But either way, let's spark up on y'all on this candy fumes. Without further ado, gotta find my lighter. It should be in my pocket or some shit. Right, without further ado, let's spark up. Alright, joint sparked. Story will not commence. So this happened on Halloween, man. I was waiting patiently. If you didn't see the last DXM trip I posted, where me and the homie got lost in a thunderstorm, the homie Dyson, Me and him got lost in a thunderstorm. I was tripping balls. They were plateauing on DXM, feeling like I was seeing DXM entity, Dexter, at peak of my trip and whatnot. Just very encapsulating experience and just very positive experience overall too. Same with the one before that. Same with the other ones before that. But I wasn't like trying to rush it, right? I waited, what, it was like 16 days? I didn't have any exact plans. I mean, I had some options, but I wasn't really like either way. So we did do some fucking DXM. Like, fuck it. Alone at the crib. Well, not totally alone. My mom's there, I guess. She doesn't know I'm about to do it, but she's just there chilling and whatnot, right? You know, we're just, it's like any other day. We're just chilling, right? Send this day up, what? I had previously gotten like these 2 bottles of Robitussin, and I was just sitting on them, being patient and whatnot. I think I had grabbed them at like fucking Walmart when we had gotten groceries or some shit. To be honest, like on some shit. I had found this bottle of Equates. I don't know if it's Delsum, if they call it. I don't know if it's that or just Equate cost suppressant, I think. And you look at the ingredients, oh, it is dextromethorphan Polistirex. Alright, we in business. I was thinking like, alright man, I guess it's spore more just on a psychotic level. That's really what was pushing, I wouldn't even say pushing, but pulling me, like, and just calling me, right? Like, what's here more with DXM, Dexter? What's it trying to show me more of? What can it offer, I guess, on the full spectrum of things? Because too, I was going through it in a sense of just being kind of a little fucking depressed, just going through some bullshit, court and all this. You know, I won't, again, watch previous videos if you want to know about the exact situation I was in. So it was also like a savior in that sense, but also just feeling lost because of that whole situation. So that's like a key role of just like, it's not really knowing what I'm gonna do exactly or which direction I'm gonna go exactly with my life. Just growing up and shit on that level, right? So this is how DXM like it almost brought me to and like made me come to certain revelations about myself, just about life, the universe in ways, and, you know, this ego death too. We're getting to that. So again, it's about 2 in the afternoon, right? I think, I don't know exactly what day it was, this October 31st. I feel like it was a random weekday, but either way, like, it was like 2 p.m. I didn't have plans to go out. I was more excited, honestly. Like I said, I was honestly just more excited and more down just to go into this DXM trip at the time because I was just so fascinated and intrigued by it, right? And going out on some shit because I've been doing that shit all my life already, right? On some shit, like, whatever. So, come to this trip, it's like 2 p.m. or some shit, and I'm just like, fuck it, let's dose now, I guess, because, like, it is a long-ass trip. I'll probably be up most of the night. I mean, even if I'm dosing this early, so it's like, fuck, it's Halloween night, we'll be up. Just kind of, tea turned up with Dexter, and one of the biggest things about it, too, was like, I'm doing this by myself, too. I think I had not done it by myself at this point yet. So that was also a big step for me, in a sense. I was doing this alone. And it's not like I hadn't been alone at points, you know, when we were tripping and shit. Yeah, most of this time, I was just by myself. Like I said, my mom was there, and I would interact with her at some point in this experience, but she didn't fucking know, like, she didn't know like that, like, so, I wasn't about to tell her like that, so, let's get into this trip. So, I take them down, the Joe Caps, I believe they have like 60, I believe there's 60 for, I want to say, it might be that or 40, because it equals out to 600 milligrams. The Equate is just this small bottle, which I believe it was a 3 or a 5 ouncer. Now, this was the biggest thing about a huge factor that influenced just not only my come up, but just like the next hour and whatnot. I mean, I down it and whatnot, and I just feel, or I'm thinking the whole time basically like, man, this equate. I found this shit is kind of old, right? This shit is like 6-7 years old, I think, at the time. So I'm like, is this shit gonna work? Plus, like, I think like just a little had been used too, like, so it wasn't the exact full amount. So I'm like, kind of just like worrying, like, man, is this Polistirex gonna even hit like that, right? So I'm debating the whole time, just while this first hour I don't really feel too much, but like, we're starting to get into it, just slowly but surely, and it's like, this is just such the weirdest thing, and I swear, this is where I feel like time, the future, is intersecting with the past in a sense, because like, I don't feel like I should have came up the way I did like this so strongly, but then again, I don't know, it could just be the trip. But so I was debating like, alright man, let's go get some Delsum just to make sure. Let's go get a whole nother bottle, 5-ounce bottle of Delsum on some shit, and make sure we're gonna meet with Dexter and shit, and we're gonna show our respects by getting there properly this time. Well, not saying we didn't last time, but just make sure we do it the right way, right? I shit you not, I split into 2 realities about the hour and a half, maybe 2 hour mark. Okay? One reality is like, alright, I'm just at my crib chilling. I'm on YouTube, maybe doing some research. Like, I've been nerding out big time just on psychonautics and whatnot recently at this time, and especially DXM, just doing research, right? Reading other reports, watching people's videos of it and whatnot, and Goblin. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute, man. But so there's that part of me that's just chilling, and it's like, it almost like, it felt like both hands meeting at the top of a clock are like the sun hitting the exact point in the center of the sky, right? To where like, alright, this is where my mind split into, and that might have been like, honestly, the peak of the day on some shit, man. Like, the high point of this, it might have honestly been lined up like that on some shit. But part of me's doing that, right? Then another part of me is like, alright, we need this Delsum, bro. Like, let's go get this Delsum, bro. Alright, so we're gonna while I'm coming up, tripping balls like this, fuck it, I'm getting like super dissociated. I mean, super fucking dissociated. Still, it's like I'm tripping in both versions, like super dissociated and whatnot, but at the same time, it's just like, kind of what's going on. But it's like, part of my mind is just kind of like going on autopilot, right? Subconscious activated, like, take over. Like, we know what to do, even if we are split up into 2 bodies. It's cool. Just like what we knew what to do when we were walking with Tyson, and everything went black, and like the entity we were meeting with him and whatnot, we knew what to do, and just like, even if it's in a thunderstorm, we still know what to do and keep going the right way. And it's just like we know what to do in this situation. Like, yeah, I feel like I'm tripping in 2 places right now, but it's like, part of me still knows what to do. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what actually happened? I feel like both actually happened, but I was probably experiencing them both at simultaneous times. What I was talking about, the future intersecting with the past and just time meshing, right? Where I feel like I kind of broke the time barrier in a sense, especially just coming up just like this quickly and whatnot, excuse me. But also on a whole another deeper metaphysical level, of what we actually do and what's actually to come in the future, and that intersecting, and maybe me taking this Delsum in the future and that intersecting with my current trip and actually making it stronger on some shit. But anyways, man, part of me is like, yeah, we gotta go get this Delsum, bro. And I remember experiencing that, and part of me also just at the crib experiencing like me walking and going there, and also me experiencing all this in like third person at the same time, almost like from an eagle's eye view too at points. A eagle death, right? Making some connections there, but we're getting, yeah, this third point of view, like I said, in simultaneous realities I'm experiencing at the same time, man. I'm walking to Walgreens on some shit, we're getting this Delsum, and like part of me is also thinking like, the me that's walking to Walgreens is like, man, I ain't fucking tripping balls right now. If anyone sees me like that, oh my god, my eyes must be like saucers. They must be, right? I don't know. Well, even before that, before going to Walgreens, I remember feeling like days had gone by in this sequence, and literally feeling like night, day in the sky. It's experiencing that 9-day happening, right? Okay, we'll just go with it because I may just be tripping balls and whatever, I guess. I mean, we just gotta go with the flow either way. So like, yeah, we just gotta go with the flow with this, man. And this is gonna be crazy to talk about afterwards on some shit, right? But we'll just keep going with the flow. Alright. But literally, it feels like days going by as I'm walking. Almost like at a point, like each step I took, night, day, on some shit. And it would partially like depend, you know, where I was looking and whatnot. Just seeing the cars, I remember just the amount of tracers, the amount of distortions of like buildings and everything, man. Just, like, at the same time. And again, this is probably, like I said, probably like 2 hours or so, I would guess, after taking that initial dose. We get this, well, we get to Walgreens. Cashier, like, he says to me, like, in this tone that just gives off, that just like, man, this dude, you good, buddy? Like, you're kind of fucked up now. You're buying cost suppressant right here, like. It's like ID, and all this shit, bro. But got that shit covered. Like, don't worry about that, bro. That's some shit. We get it. Either way, yeah, probably look a little cracked out. Whatever. We get the Delsum. We make it back to the crib. Just on autopilot on some shit again. Like, I'm experiencing simultaneous realities, but then 2 and 2 meet. And okay. And I remember downing this Delsum, I think, on the way back. Like, before I even got home. Like, I remember downing it on the way back before I even got home like that. So I'd say I'd probably took a, you know, initial dose 2, Delsum dose, a whole 5 ounce of big bottle. Like it was nothing, really. Like I said, probably like 4:30, I'd say, give or take. Maybe 4 even. It couldn't even been 4. But so this shit was going on, and I remember just going back and like kind of merging, like nothing even happened, like it was just normal. But I think part of my mind knew, like holy shit, that actually just happened. It happened like that, man. But I remember going back and just like, all right, well, we got Delsum, we're gonna be tripping all night, I guess. Like, let's go. Let's go see where this trip continues on, like, on some shit. Like, this is kind of crazy, man. Like, next significant thing was, like, coming to certain revelations with just myself and getting certain visions and whatnot. And this is where we would get, like, semi-ego death. Not full-on blown ego death, but just where we get more in this third-person point of view, right? and to where I'm just more on this autopilot, right? But we're building to this actual full-on ego death to where it's like I actually forget and I'm fucking gone, right? Like I said before, the me at home, just chilling, like just kind of tripping out and whatnot, listening to some tunes and whatnot, listening to some trip reports, doing some research and whatnot, and just kind of enjoying the trip. That part of me continues, right? And like I said, Goblin, man. Shouts out to Goblin. This channel might not exist without Goblin. On some shit. Now, I didn't start doing YouTube because of Goblin. I just started doing YouTube because of Baby Vampire Thug, First to Bomb, if you're curious, my main influencer, but specifically when it comes to substances and just this type of usage and whatnot, and like stories and whatnot, specifically, right? Specifically, I guess stories and trip reports, right? I guess not so much the trip reports, I mean, that side of it, right? That side of it, I would flesh out, develop in a more specific way with more research, so, but just Goblin would just like kind of like have this influence, because I remember just putting this channel on. I think I found it like maybe like a day or two prior, honestly, to this trip, and I was just kind of like, whoa, this dude's tripping on fucking Robocop like a motherfucker, like, but he's keeping it real, like being himself, authentic, genuine, and just telling it how it is, but also, you know, as a personality too, you know, as a YouTuber would. But I'm not here to really discuss that on a deeper level or not, but I'm just going to just give you that, like, alright, this is what my discovery and whatnot, and also just kind of like motivating in a sense, like, alright, this dude's out here, you know, just telling it as is. And there is one video in particular, man, that I was like, man, alright, bro, I feel this energy so much. And you guys may know, I think it was like meeting a DXM entity. It's one of the very first ones that kind of popped off for us, where I just kind of have his flow a little bit in that, but I was just still finding my roots and things and whatnot, especially in this community at the time. So, but big shouts out to Goblin and whatnot, especially this trip and just like experiencing like what he was talking about, just like, you know, on a funny level, entertaining level too. So, and like I said, he would play in the background while I had my ego death. Just kind of crazy, which I feel like just kind of subconsciously enforced like some like natural like inspiration of sorts. So, but that's just what happened, man. That's just how it happened. So, I'm gonna spark this up because it did go out, just talking, getting the flow of it. But let's spark up again. But anyway, so that was happening, but at the same time, while doing this research and whatnot, and just kind of figuring things out, I also have a buddy, Leo. I think I remember dude's name, the bro's name we gave. I mentioned Leo before in a story, maybe 2 or 3 stories, something like that. Not too many, but Leo, one of my dudes, one of my bros growing up. And also shouts out homie Ty. We mentioned Ty before. If you're watching this, Ty, I hope you're straight, B. I hope you're straight, B. I know Leo's good and whatnot, but Leo and Ty at the time went to the same college. And part of me was also like thinking, I gotta battle against the system and what I've been through, what others have been through, and have been through against with just being oppressed against the ability to express their mind freely with the, you know, choice of whatever you want to ingest, right? So, battle of the minds, psychedelic revolution and whatnot, right? How can I enforce that more? At the time, I was like, well, what's the ultimate way or influence? What's an ultimate way or influence you could have in that way? I guess research, right? But at the time, I was like, the God plug. On some goofy shit. The God plug. What is the God plug? AKA the pharmacist. Access to everything, right? And it is still something, I mean, honestly, if I want, I mean, to do, I guess. I just don't like the system. I don't like the system, bro, or to be a puppet. Right? If you want the quick answer, right? But that doesn't mean it didn't inspire some school for me and whatnot. And honestly, through this trip, I had visions. So, like, I got split-minded again, right? So me, like, leaving, but then, like, I also had visions, and this would come up further during the ego death as well, of where I'm out with my boys, Ty and Leo, partying, but also studying big time, but also awesome DXM partying, bro. Awesome shit. And just getting lit, and like, but also in a revolutionary way. And how this plays out and like reasons why and whatnot, I will get into probably in future videos. And maybe it still can play out in certain ways like that. So either way, man. So I was getting these like actual like split-minded like visions that I'm actually there and I'm partying at school with them, and then the school they went to is known for being a party school in this state. I won't say exactly which one, but it's known for being a pretty big party school in this state. So it's like, alright, man, alright, for sure, we have to go, we have to make it happen, we have to make it happen. That's what I was on, man. And that was it's like Dexter telling me, and it's like, this is what it's showing me. And just like me actually feeling it, me experiencing it, you could say it's like a parallel reality of sorts. Of me going through this, and it's just like, we have to make it happen. And I was just so inspired, so motivated at the same time. It's like, it's one thing with the YouTube thing, that's inspirational in a sense. But combined with that, too, at the same time with the academics, let's go on some shit. Let's go. That's a whole nother thing, right? So I was so inspired. I'm like, I gotta tell my mom. I gotta tell my mom this. Like, she has to know, and just because like empathic reward and whatnot, and just like how good it would feel just to let her know, like, on some shit, like, I have some direction and this is what I want to do, and it's like, I'm excited, like, right? But I'm tripping balls, and part of me is like, goes into subconscious autopilot mode, third person, and I don't even realize or consciously decide to do it. I just do it automatically, right? And don't even think through any of like, oh, what can go wrong with that or anything like that, right? So I just do it, and just like, I'm just like, at the same time though, rocking some DXM, the speech is slurred heavily. And I remember I was like, I could barely get it out. I was like, Mom, I wanna be, I would just keep stuttering like a motherfucker. And then be like, pharmacist, like, I'm gonna be a pharmacist, like, on some shit. Like, I can't even do it correctly. That's not even how it would be exactly, but like, I can't even do it, like, or mimic it. Like, it would just be on some shit. It would be like someone was like holding my tongue from pronouncing like R's or certain letters. And I've talked about this before in previous videos and whatnot. Just like the speech thing, it kind of happens off MDMA too at times. So, and I think it was kind of a bit later. It was like only like 6 or 7, I think, at this point. But I think like, yeah, she might have been just tired at the time, or what. She may have just been like, just like letting me be excited and whatnot, just like not paying like second mind to it at the time of how I was being and whatnot. But I remember just like, when I was saying it, part of my conscious mind like came to, and just like, oh shit. And one of the biggest things about it was like I was looking at her and I was like, oh shit, my eyeballs, bro. I feel like my pupils might give it away. So I just was like, I did that real quick. We go back in, and this is where it's like things get a little hazy. And I remember, I think I was like, I remember I actually asked her the next day, like, what had happened. And I had told her, like, I think I said I was tired and I'm like going to sleep. And this is actually where, on some shit, subconscious autopilot mode, like, I just did that. I left the shit playing though, with Goblin. I just shut off my big light and whatnot, or my lamp, and just like lay down. And I think I just like drift off. And this is kind of where things death, the ego death, like kind of commences. And it's nothing like insanely intense like that, or like where it rips me or anything like that. But I get submerged deep, like in an ocean, like underwater, deep in a dark ocean almost, right? It's kind of a good way to put it. Dissociative whole, right? DXM whole, right? But it's unique in a sense, because like at first it starts with, alright, like I was saying, you got that third person out of body view, eagle eye view. Alright, eagle eye. You got that overhead, I can see all the houses around me. It starts with just me seeing my body. I'm not conscious of that though. I'm really not conscious of like, that's me. I'm looking at my body. It really just feels like I'm kind of this ball of energy, right? I just kind of rise up and have this view, right? But my view expands. No idea that like, oh, I'm me, that I'm tripping like that. I'm like, it could be like, this is just some random person, like, on some shit. Like, who is it? I don't know. Who is this? I have no fucking clue. Like, so there's that. But it spans, like, alright, let's just see what's beyond this, I guess, right? Now we get to Eagle Eye. There's all these houses. Alright, let's keep going, I guess. Like, alright, now I'm in this state, in this country, right? Alright, keep going. Like, oh, there's planet Earth. I shit you not. Like, hallucinations popping off of planet Earth in this, like, weird dissociative way, but also in this, like, cartoony way, too. Of, I guess I won't say certain names, I guess, like Kendrick, Drake, certain presidents and whatnot, coming off, like, walking on Earth in these bobbleheads, almost, like, just because it's showing, like, certain energies of influence going on, right? And like I said, it's almost in this comical, cartoony way. But it's just like, it's a big thing that's just like stuck out to me. It's just like, okay. It's nothing that bothered me by any means, but it's just like, me just experiencing it and just like taking note of it. And just like, this is our reality, right? This is our planet and whatnot. But then it gets deeper, like, alright, well, get into the vastness of space, but we break through space and we get into this hole, like I said, this DXM hole of sorts, where it's like, the best way to put it for me is like, I get lost into the sea of information or data, very deeply and profoundly, but almost like in a meditative sort of state, where it's like, almost like it was like solfeggio tones were playing throughout, honestly, or binaural beats of sorts, playing throughout the whole time. That's how it felt like. Or just like underneath the ocean, and you're like underneath water. But, well, of course there's Goblin playing in the background, just casually, on some shit. I just feel like my soul is just kind of drifting there. And I remember a big component of it just being this like light blue, but it was like little like language, indecipherable language, bodies of language floating past me or maybe me floating through it, honestly. Either or, maybe both at times. And just me just resting in there and just me experiencing it. And I almost kind of see this as like, almost like, maybe it's the threading of the universe, right? This is the coding of the simulation, maybe, right? In a sense. On some shit, man. It's the first time I've ever experienced anything like this. I've talked about this recently in another video with MDMA and ketamine, but this is the first time, like, on some shit, and I've never experienced it like this again. Just because I've never had this combo exactly like that again. But not with another substance either. But that's how it felt, and just like, man. I was in there for a good 3-4 hours of pure ego death. There was points where I remember I would, like, somewhat come to almost. Like, I would realize, like, I'd be back in the room almost. I wouldn't be necessarily looking around, but I'd be back in, like, kind of that third person point of view. So it's like, I was still, like, tethered, right? Tied to home base, right? My body. But I consciously couldn't even put that together, that I was there. And that I was me and who I was, or, like, even to an extent of, like, what a human is at a point, right? Or what that even means. And just, like, I would honestly, like, compare it to almost being, like, a baby again, right? And just experiencing, like, these are, like, giant shapes, colors just around me, and, like, and at times being able to, you know, make sense of it, because you still, I feel like you still do have that, like, cognizance of it, in the sense to make out ideas and whatnot, and concepts at the same time, but not just, it's more like, what, subconscious, right, than consciously driven, when it's that deep like that, and especially when it's, like I said, full-blown ego death like that, right? It's wild, man. It's pretty wild. It's wild. Yeah, I was gone. And I know there's more specifics to, like, exactly what concepts I was thinking of, what exactly, how it manifested, what other hallucinations I was going through with that. But I remember a big portion of that was being just lost in that sea of, like, data, information, the threading of the universe, maybe, like I said, and just, like, maybe to understand. I'm not sure why, but it's what I experienced, and what, like, just the power of the trip, and, like, the level it took me to, and what I didn't feel like, yeah, there was Dexter there necessarily with this portion of it. I almost feel like, yeah, like I said, we broke through in a sense, but with some DXM, but into, not too, I feel like I've been deeper than this on some shit, but just still, like, we're at the edge of the dimensions with this, and the threading of this universal whole. Take what you will with that, okay? When we come back to, it's almost like coming back into, like, taking a huge breath of air, almost like, yeah, coming from submerging from water. It's like, I'm just like, oh my god, I'm just like, waking up, and just taking a second, just like, I'm just like looking around. I remember it kind of slowly happened, right? Where I'd be, like, almost in between the two states again, third person and whatnot, but just, like, there was a point where it just kind of, like, hit. It was, like, where I was, like, be able to move around again, right? And there was points where it was, like, I was asleep, kind of just laying down, and I just, like, toss and turn and whatnot, but, like, nothing, like, you know, consciously driven. But this was more actually consciously driven, and I'm, like, I'm back, I'm here, right? And, like, you know, it takes a little few seconds and whatnot to, like, realize, like, holy shit, like, you know, I'm me and whatnot, and just, like, I remember at the time, I was just like, I think I just had an ego death. I just had an ego death. Can't even say it. I just had an ego death. I just had an ego death. Fuck. Because I would say it so quick and whatnot. Just had an ego death. I just had an ego death. Like, on some shit. And it's like, I just like kind of just like subconsciously just like kind of just like knew and just like did some research, just like, and like I wasn't trying to have one by any means. I wasn't searching for it by any means. And at the time, like I had heard the concept and whatnot, but like almost like I brisked by the concept, and it, like my mind brisked by it. I didn't really fully take in like fully what it was, but like, you know, I immediately like holy shit, just like I look in the mirror, but my eyes are giant and whatnot. Every time I would take DXM, I feel like there would almost be like a point to the, like my eyes almost, to like not to where they're just hallucinated and big, but to like there's like a sharp point at each edge of them, like on some shit. It's probably just me fucking hallucinating, but yeah, it was crazy. And just like me coming to that, like just like holy shit, just like, and me feeling that and actually like going through like what that felt like to actually lose yourself like fully like that. It's revolutionary. If you've never been through it like that, it's like, it's hard to explain, man, but it's like so powerful, so enlightening, and just like a complete wash of yourself, and just like the ego really is, and just like letting the universe take hold in the sense, and coming to more understandings with it on another level. And that's a whole nother thing, and just like, yeah, what this all means and whatnot, that's a whole nother thing. We'll save that probably for another video and trip, but it was some crazy shit, man. Just that feeling, coming to terms with it, just like, you know, it's something that almost makes you want to cry, and just like, holy shit, man. Like, oh my god, oh my god. This is so beautiful, and this is really this is the universe, and the universe is beautiful, and Dexter is beautiful. And I remember posting like right after this too. Dexter is like a brother on Snapchat. Say, Dexter is like a brother. Honestly, he's big bro, got your back, man. Yo, universe is gonna put you through some shit, but I also got your back on some shit. You're gonna go through some shit. Nothing's perfect, things are in balance, but I got your back. And we gonna get lit as fuck this Halloween. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It was beautiful. And I remember my boy Michael. Shouts out to my boy Michael. He might be watching this one. Shouts out, bro. Shouts out, bro. I hadn't talked to bro for like, I think in a few months at that point. And he was just calling me to see what's up. And just by chance, like, he didn't know I was tripping balls like that. But I just answered on some shit. I think he still may have been Skype at the time too. Like, nah, no, I think it was Discord. I don't know if it might have been. I don't know, man. I was just telling him, and he was like, fuck. He couldn't believe that shit. It's funny as fuck, though. But yeah, I talked to him for like 10 minutes or so, 10, 15 minutes and shit. But after that, I remember, I think I was even trying to play a game of Hearthstone while talking to him. After that, yeah, I wasn't so much for split mind. I was more so like finally in unity with myself. And this is where it also kind of, it's like 2 and 2 come together. Like we get split-minded, we visit some different dimensions and whatnot, and we come back, right? We come back, we're reborn, literally reborn. That's how, yeah, it's literally ego death. Literally reborn is a good way to put it. And like I said, just like going through that and experiencing like things, I'm a baby again. It's like going through all that, man. Reborn, we're reset. We have revelations. We know what to do. We're gonna do this YouTube shit. We're gonna do this academic shit. We're here for a reason. Life is beautiful. And with that, we ride the wave. By the time this is over, I think it was like I want to say it was like 10, 11, right? When I had come to and everything and had all that. So, what I'm gonna do for the rest of the night? Well, let's see how music sounds, bro. Ooh. MDMA vibes for the rest of the night. I'm literally dancing for like 6, 7 hours straight, like to 5, 6 a.m. in my room with my headphones on, just blasting this Lucy playlist I made, which was about 11 songs at the time. I'll try and run through each song right now, why not? Electric Feel by MGMT. Tame Impala, 3 songs. The less you know, the better. The Way We Go Back, I believe, or something, it goes back, something like that. Another Tame Impala song off that same album. Other songs, LSD, ASAP Rocky, Butterfly Effect, by Travis, Roxanne, Beach Boys, Surfin' USA, What You Know, Cinnamon Door Club, Two Door Cinnamon Door Club, Tunnel Vision, Kodak, Beck, Colors, and Seventh Heaven. I believe that may be it, but I just had this because I remember I was inspired by my first acid trip by some of these songs, and I made the playlist like a week prior, and I was like, let's test this playlist out. I was literally jamming like a motherfucker to this playlist all night, and not just jamming. Let me get to this. What made this so awesome, man? I mean, so lit, was the fact that closed eye visuals, full blown hallucination, closed eye visuals. Like, I close my eyes and I feel like I'm completely somewhere else. I open my eyes, I feel like I'm here, but I close my eyes, lights off and everything. Bro. Now, actually I wish I could explain and like actually capture and bring some of these to life. But literally for 6 to 7 hours straight, it's like, alright, for example, like, I close my eyes, I almost look like someone or myself is looking back in me, but a different manifestation of myself. And I remember a key example is like this woman opening the doors, like, to the club, or like to a party, and we're getting all lit, or like to the college, like before, like I said. Or like, maybe it might be aliens, maybe it might be me surfing, like, or on the beach, or on some shit, or just like, it was all very positive. It would get very weird at points too. Some of it wouldn't make too much sense. Some of it would be more like geometrical, not so much more like, you know, I'm in my body as a person, more geometrical. But it would all transition too pretty quickly. They would all last maybe like 10 to about 20 seconds before it would all maybe like fizzle out, or maybe morph, or maybe like transition into this or that, or just like, yeah, manifest into the new next thing, right? And it was all kind of like positivity, party time vibes, I would say, for the most part, and just like, but it was also like, I felt like I was with Dexter. And I remember at some point I also said, I made another post, thank the Mighty Sharks for this one. Thank you, Mighty Sharks. What I mean by that, we went swimming in the sea, in the deep ocean, with that ego death. Gotta swim with the sharks. They let us by. Alright, we're cool with them, so thank the sharks for this. Alright. It's on some shit, bro. And also thank Dexter for, I feel like, leading me through all that sequence at the end. And it was all this euphoric, so euphoric, some of the best euphoria I've ever felt in my life to this day. Like, very comparable to, it was like straight MDMA euphoria for, like I said, 6-7 hours straight, man. Like, some of the best MDMA euphoria, music euphoria you can imagine for 6-7 hours straight, and me just literally dancing the whole time and doing robo walk hard as motherfucker, like stomping, not stomping, but just like marching, I wasn't stopping. I wasn't trying to wake anybody up and shit. But just like with my eyes closed and just kind of like I would hit the wall and shit a few times, but like for the most part, I had a good still sense of, I guess, idea of where things were. But still, I would hit some shit sometimes. But I think we're gonna wrap it up here. So like I said, I didn't want to make this too long, but I feel like I got the gist of this kind of vibe and what happened and the meaning of it to me, the key points of it, how inspirational this was, and how this would just like push me forward. Honestly, I think that very next morning, like after tripping, I was looking into college admissions and all this shit, and we would be going to school, I mean, next year, man, because of this trip, and we would also be making this channel, bro. This trip was one of the most important trips of my life, probably because of that. I mean, honestly, like I said, we wouldn't be here because of that. I mean, maybe we would. I don't know. Maybe we would. Or maybe God would. I don't know. But on some shit, right? This really just gave me like that, like, push and like motivation, and just like, it was telling me like, yo, you gotta do this, bro. You gotta you going through all this shit. You gotta convey all this stuff, all these messages. And I feel like this is just the starting point too. That's a crazy point. We're still in chapter 2, but this is like the starting point. It's like, we're coming full circle here too, man, with this chapter 5. Once chapter 5 is done, it's like full circle, man. And we're really, like, I feel like gonna come back to some of these states and really get in depth and more recordable, observable, especially also with this community and just tying more things in and the direction, why we done trip reports, why we decided to share our experiences like this at all. Like I said, this is an important video. This is an important trip to share, important story time, important milestone for me. And just looking back at it, you know, I don't know, I haven't felt these vibes in such a long time because I haven't done DXM like that, man. But I still do get these, like, these hints. I mean, ketamine is its own nature, but they still do share some similarities in a regard, especially also MDMA with it. But yeah, I miss DXM, I miss Dexter, man. This one of my most probably, I honestly think this may have been one of the most powerful trips I've had off DXM. Just because, especially that come up, man. Like I said, it's like going through that. And then just like, yeah, the ego death portion, and just like actually like feeling that. If you never felt that, especially the first time like that, man. Just how cleansing that can be too. How beautiful it can be. I guess with this substance, at times, you know, other times, you know, it can be, you know, more rough. But those are for some other reports, man. We got some trips to come, man. This experience would just, I feel like, inspire more action, more integration, most definitely. Like I said, I believe, yeah, like I said, later I would start this channel, so not too long after this trip. So it's been a long time coming. Like I said, a long time ago we made this, did this, but I'm happy to be telling it, and we're just catching up on these stories, man, and we're coming full circle, like I said. But we're gonna leave it at there. It's getting pretty cold out here, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you thought of this. If you like this story, we got quite the acid trip coming up. Quite the variant. It's gonna be interesting. Very, very, very interesting. I will just leave it at that. We got some other material, other series, of course, I'm working on as well. Your guys' reports, I'm working on as well. There's a lot of collabs too. Stay tuned, man. Stay tuned. Let me know how you guys are doing. Yeah, subscribe, like, share this video. I appreciate it. It's been someone that's no one, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.